Good morning, good morning. How is everyone? Some of you, good afternoon, but good morning anyway. And just want to get in, talk with you about the update that I have, that I've been following this case with the biggest welfare scandal in the state of Mississippi. Now, you know I've been doing these videos, so if you've been following me, here is an update. And I told you that I would bring you the updates as I receive them. Now, the former DHS director, you know, his name was John Davis, that's his name, and he was charged in a federal indictment with misusing funds or stealing funds from the Temporary Assistance of the Needy Families welfare program within the Welfare Department division. Now, if you don't know what TANF, let me remind you, it's the TANF, which is the Temporary Assistance of Needy Funds for families in the undeserved area. And so we know that Mississippi is the poor state here in our states. It's the poor state. And so there are other states that carry Mississippi to help Mississippi along the way. And a lot of that money was supposed to go to prevent teenage pregnancy, also to help families, be able to go back to school or teach them how to rise up out of poverty strategies, maybe even take some classes, have, if you have, have you. And so these people that were part of this scam, they all knew the former governor Phil Bryant, which has not been charged, along with Brett Favre. And I'm not going to keep saying, I'm not, going to stop saying that they both need to be charged as well in this scandal, because they were all part of the scandal. They all were part of taking money and using the funds, misappropriating the funds to a nonprofit, who then turned around and sent the money to the university, sent it to Brett and to the University of Mississippi to get a volleyball campus or court built. And Brett knew about it. He's saying he didn't when he first came out, but the text messages don't lie. They, and I'm just giving you an overview. If you, haven't watched those videos, an overview, a recap of what's been going on here. And so Nancy knew, had these two nonprofits that she ran, and the governor, former governor Phil Bryant, was, telling her where to send these payments to. And so this is where we're at now. So there was a lot of people that were charged and a lot of people that were included in the indictment, as far as the misappropriation and misuse of funds for undeserved families. And what is sad about this even more case is that you had families that really needed child care vouchers and couldn't get them because the money was sent directed somewhere else. And then you have former Governor Phil Bryant, who actually, in fact, he's the one that appointed the director John Davis, and then turned around and got rid of him. He also, he was the one, that placed him in that position, in that position, and got rid of him. He also appointed Shad, who was the auditor that tried to give credit to Phil Bryant about the whistleblowing, and that they all trying to cover each other's back because they all had close ties in some kind of way. And then there was Deputy Black, who was the deputy for John Davis, and he was building, basically gathering information, collecting it against John Davis while he was the deputy. And then you had the other players, the ranch owner that was a star football player. Then you had, the former wrestler and his son, and other people that played a part, and John Davis' nephew, and these people were getting money, people. And so again, here we are moving forward to now his sentencing. So he was given 32 years. And this is what he said: very, very bad judgment, and I shouldn't have done it. Okay? So as we get into this, he was a key figure in the Mississippi massive welfare fraud scandal, and he pleaded guilty last Thursday to federal and state charges. And that was federal tax money that went to the state of Mississippi. Okay? So he pleaded guilty to 5 counts of conspiracy and 13 counts of fraud against the government in Hinds County Circuit Court. So Judge Adrian Wooten sentenced Davis to 32 years in state prison and ordered him to pay restitution. Wooten asked Davis why he did it. After a long pause, Davis responded, "Very, very bad judgment, and I shouldn't have done it." Now, early in the day, Davis appeared in U.S. District Court where he pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and to commit theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and one count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. So those programs received the funds from federal taxpayers for the states to carry them, and then they turned around and he took the funds, okay? Bottom line, big, that's what he did. So at 54 years of age, he's scheduled to be sentenced on the federal charges February 2nd. So he has quite some time now to get himself together, get everything in order to go and face his prison sentence. And he faces a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison for the conspiracy count and 10 years in prison for the theft charge. Now, at one count, Davis faced 20 counts, including 9 charges of bribery in connection with the alleged misuse, because it was definitely misuse, of tens of millions of federal dollars intended for welfare recipients. I had to take a pause. I had to take a pause for this. And now, as part of the plea deal, Davis agreed to testify in state and federal court in the prosecution of other criminally charged defendants. That's what Nancy New did. You all remember that? She took a plea deal too. And he needs to tell on them folks. Yes, you need to tell on every last one of them. This is where I'm in agreement with snitching. You need to tell it. Because, see, Brett Favre should not be walking free when he knew about the money and where it came from, and he tried to cover it up in text messages. And his stuff needs to be pulled from the Hall of Fame. He is not an example for our young people. He's not an example for the people that's coming up playing in the NFL or playing college. He is not an example, people. Brett Favre is not an example. Although most people watched him from the sidelines or from their couch while he played over 2 decades in the NFL league. He made over $140 million from playing football and endorsements. No, he is not a role model, and his stuff should be taken from the Hall of Fame. It should be denounced because he is a guilty party, even though he has not been charged. He is guilty because it's in the text messages. They're out there. It's public record. And then the former governor needs to be charged as well. But you know, when we look at the complexion for the protection, some of these people get protected, and they should not be protected from their complexion. We got beautiful complexions also. We are beautiful, and we need to be protected from our complexion, because many years we have not been protected because of our beautiful complexion. And I'm keeping it real. So he needs to be held accountable. Brett Favre and the former governor Phil Bryant. They were part of this scheme. They was part of this scam. They was part of this corruption. They was part of this scandal. And they helped facilitate in stealing the money. And they need to be held accountable for this. We see, I mean, if it was, hey, let's just keep it real. We see Jones is from the Chicago, the senator. Look at him. He's been indicted. But these folks is going to try to cover up these 2 individuals that played a part, just like the rest of them. They being sentenced. They being charged. So y'all need to come out, and you do need to do what you need to do. Strip him of his Hall of Fame stuff. Brett Favre needs to be stripped of his Hall of Fame stuff. He sure does. He needs to be stripped of that. He should not be able to be in the Hall of Fame as a role model, because this is not a role model when you're stealing money from needy families. Stealing money from needy families. I'm not down with that. That's wrong. Stealing money from needy families. That's not right. And there's text messages that prove that he knew where the money was coming from. See, he said he didn't know, but yes, he knew. And you know, when this first came out that he had took $1.1 million from welfare money, you know, I believe that then that he wasn't being truthful when he said he didn't know. No, you have to give people the benefit of the doubt, or you have to wait till more information come out, right? But I never believed, because I shared it with my family members. No, he took that money. He knew where it was coming from. You cannot tell me that when somebody give you a check, you don't know where that money is coming from. It has to have some type of name on it. There is some type of memo. There is something. Even if the check is attached to another piece of paper, there's something telling you where the money came from. And you was all along participating, Brett, because you was asking for the money, and you even said, will they be able to know where the money came from? Right there, that means you knew. Because what would you need to ask that question and cover it up for if you didn't know? But see, some of these folks, we see it day in and day out, they get protection because of their complexion. And some people are not going to get protected because of their complexion. But Brett and the former governor, because they were public figures. You got a politician, and then you got a public figure, and they being protected. But maybe it's because they need to gather more information. But an indictment should be coming down soon. And the Hall of Fame, they need to get rid of him. Take his stuff out of there. Take it out. But anyway, Davis was accused in 2020 of giving grant dollars to New Summit School founder Nancy New and her son Zach, who have already pleaded guilty. I told you all, they were accused of directing $40,000 a month for 4 months to a Malibu, California rehab facility to pay for treating retired professional wrestler Brett DBAs. And then Nancy New had been cooperating with prosecutors as part of her plea deal. Text messages from NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre, former Governor Phil Bryant, and Nancy New were recently released. They were recently released as part of a civil lawsuit filed in the $77 million welfare fraud scheme. Brett, you need to pay that money back. That interest is rising. It's increasing, Brett. And attorneys say the text messages show the former governor pushed to help get millions in federal welfare dollars to construct a volleyball stadium, which Favre wanted at the University of Southern Mississippi. Bryant and Favre have not been criminally charged. They haven't been criminally charged yet. But we'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait, because they need to be charged. So that's my update on, John Davis, the former director of the Mississippi Department of Welfare, pleaded guilty to fraud. 32 years. Okay, people? So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber, and share this video. Share this video. This is federal tax money, and we have got to step up and step out and say something about this stuff that's going on. Because when we sit here and put people in office that don't deserve to be in office and got their little cliques going, their constituents, their inside schemes going, we ought to be appalled, and we need to step up and step out and say something about this mess. And, I wonder if something can be done about pulling Brett Favre's stuff from the Hall of Fame, him out of there. I wonder if something can be done. Leave your comments below. Tell me if something can be done about this, because you know what, this disgusts me, and I'm going to keep following and doing updates as they come in. Okay, thank you all again. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you all to my new subscribers. God bless you all on today. Bye.